Trap Media USA. Shout out to everybody tuning in. We appreciate it. Appreciate all the new subscribers. Shout out Southern T Boxing. Uh Man, it's a beautiful time in boxing. It's a beautiful time to be a boxing fan. I was just tuned in. I'm coming fresh off it's what is 9:50 right now. Sean Porter podcast, the Porter Way podcast was at 9 o'clock, and Sean was just discussing his overall take on the fight, his peoples from Vitel from Fight Hype and I can't remember the other white guy's name, but they was pretty much just giving a perspective. All of them except the what's dude name? Carson. All of them except Carson. Carson was the only one that had Shine up 5-4. It seems like 5-4 has been the consensus. To me, it's kind of safe. I do believe it's a little bias in there because I had Shine up a little more. Now, if we take the middle, maybe we put 2 on it. Maybe we give Sean 7 because I had him up. I only gave Bud on first watch. I only gave Bud 1 round, but everybody's saying 5-4, so we'll meet in the middle at 7. We'll meet in the middle at 7. So I I walked away from that interview and I felt like this was the first time we got to see the real Terence Crawford. I think he just views this game as fake. He views the reporters, myself included, people on YouTube. If anything, he need to be rocking with somebody like me because I've always just told it how it is. You got your people who gonna fake it. Would you? When I was saying, I always said a postal was solid. Everybody else, huh? But um it's always been my genuine opinion. But I think from today going on, after seeing this side of Terence Crawford, I think this is the side that a lot of people needed to see, especially myself. He definitely has a new supporter. He definitely has a new supporter because I think maybe he just trolls mainstream media. But with Sean, you actually got to see that friendship. And early on, I thought Sean was just one of them that was thinking that Crawford was his friend, but it wasn't really nothing there. They was just I didn't know what I thought of what, but I didn't think it was a true friendship. But how they communicated now and how open Bud was with this interview, I definitely think they it was a real friendship, and we finally got to get Crawford's take on Boots. He was saying, like, how early on everybody in the industry, it's like this guy is you, Bud. This guy is the next Terence Crawford. And he didn't, usually if it was something like flagrant, a guy would be like, nah, I don't see that, and try to throw it on something else. But he didn't deny it, nor did he didn't totally say yes that they would fight, but he didn't turn down the opportunity. He was just like, with one punch, things could go from night to day. So that's pretty much, if he keep building his name and he keep putting himself in position and just doing everything right, then that's something that he's gonna be looking forward to, especially since if he gets past Spence, um, it's a no brainer. He don't have to go up to 54 for a big fight because Boots Ennis versus Terence Crawford, with Terence Crawford doing business with the PBC and PBC fighters, his brand will continue to grow. Al Heyman just has a better idea of how to maneuver black fighters, and that's not really a knock on any other companies. It's just this is Al's niche. We've seen the great job he's done with Spence. We've seen the great job he's done with Floyd. So it's not like we can just say Al can only do this with Spence because he's in Big Texas. Floyd is from Grand Rapids, Michigan. So um, Wilder's from Alabama. It's just a lot of great things can happen. And Bud, I would just advise, just be a little bit more open because on these pages, trust me, I've been the biggest anti Bud for years, but I come in contact with a lot of people on YouTube, a lot of people on Twitter that they're diehard almost ready to fight over you, bud. So I would say don't totally shut off from all YouTube channels or all Twitter people just because it's people like me that haven't been on your side over the years, because it's a lot of good people that's been supporting you over the years and years, and they're diehard, and you hear their voices in each one of these bills when we're talking about Spence, when we're talking about Boots, when I'm talking about Porter. They always coming and sticking up for you hard. So just when you're talking to especially the black YouTube channel, try to give them a little bit more access, because everybody isn't against you. It's just you haven't been accessible enough for the people to really connect to this side of Bud Crawford that we seen on the Porterway podcast today. And I think doing that would do a lot for the overall brand. He was saying that he didn't plan on being in boxing in his late 30s. So I'm guessing he's trying to speed everything up. He didn't like that Keith Thurman was saying the summer. He's saying pretty much probably from his perspective, he know he can catch Keith lacking. Um, those are some solid pay-per-view numbers that can help boost his. He feels that he was slighted because of the app, and I'm guessing that he wants that Fox treatment. In a Fox pay-per-view with Thurman, who came off a pay-per-view with Pacquiao, I assume that the numbers will keep getting better because there's more hype behind Crawford now, after putting down Sean Porter, and which a lot of people didn't do. So I'm not going to disagree with that. I just think he feels like he's a small town guy. He was, on a bad record label, or a record label that didn't really know how to maximize his brand to the fullest, and he just, even up to the end, he didn't feel like he had a fair shake. So you see Spence getting a fair shake. You've seen the success of the fair shake with Canelo. Let's go get you a 2, 3, 4 fight deal with PBC, and just see what happens. Just see what happens. We've seen that that's what they do. So it's no point of trying to go remake or find something new, or they specialize in black fighters. Build your brand. If you feel you can whoop everybody, you want to show everybody, like you said, you want to fight all the top guys. You want Ugas, Thurman, and Spence. Go whoop everybody. And if you feel like you want to go in a different direction, go in a different direction. But we've seen great success. If you was to do something like that, I'm sure what Al did with Floyd, he can get you in that realm. And with you becoming, I think with the success, you'll become more comfortable talking to the people, and that will help make that brand just as big, bringing those $30 million paydays. And just like today, like I said, I no longer have anything bad to say about Bud Crawford. I respect that he had respect for Sean Porter, my guy, Hall of Fame, Showtime Sean Porter, to go on his podcast and, not treat him like some sucker or something. Like he could have turned his nose up to Sean after this, and he didn't. And I had a lot of respect. And he didn't go on there like he didn't want to be there. And I felt like a lot of guys would have did that. And even maybe beforehand, we would have been expecting that. But we've seen a lot of personality from Bud. Ant helped that. Shout out to Ant. You did a great job with that interview. And yeah, man, I'm just happy overall. Sean, great career again. You know, never cheated the sport. Still a gold standard to me. Still 100% behind Sean Porter, and Sean Porter will go down as in my top five. When people ask me years from now, who your top five, you always hear Sean Porter in that conversation. So shout out to Bud Crawford. Shout out to Sean Porter. Shout out to the whole Porterway podcast, Carson and Sean Vitale from Fight Hype. And shout out Sean and Kenny Sean. I hope it sound like everything was good, but black fathers, don't do that to your sons. Trap Media USA. Be a blessing today. I'm out.